Hello and welcome to another video or episode, depending on whether you're watching this YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast player. So today we are finishing our series on setting up a forest school business. And I thought I'd talk a bit about having realistic expectations for your first year and kind of what to expect. What was my first year, which really wasn't my first year, but we'll just call it that as we get into it. So when you first start as a forest school business, there's no way to sugarcoat it that the first year is going to be tricky. For me, my first official year after training, I did a bit of charity work, ended up earning about £20 an hour for the 2-hour sessions that I delivered, which wasn't nearly enough to help me get anywhere, and basically meant I was doing forest school for free. When I actually did have to make the jump to full-time forest school, I'd already been working a little while, and so it wasn't that bad. But still, it's been about a year and a half to 2 years to begin to consistently break even across all of my sessions, and then another 3 years to end up in a good space. So I'd say the first thing to be aware of is that it's going to take time, and that unless you have done, even if you've done a lot of the work I've talked about in the previous episodes on here, and even if you've got a good groundwork and a good number of supporters, getting those first bookings may be relatively easy. Getting to sustainability is going to take a bit more time. So don't set yourself too high an aim. Don't set your expectations too high. Just work with what you can and try and build slowly and sustainably, because it is going to be tough. Don't expect it to pay all of your bills instantly. In fact, there's plenty of forest school leaders who will say that it'll never pay the bills, but that I won't say that's not true. There's plenty of people doing that, but in general it's tough financially, at least until you get grounded, at least until you find a specialization and really start growing in a niche and building a name, brand and reputation. So that's the financial side of things. It is going to be hard. Have some savings set aside. Don't quit your day job all in one go. If you can work into it gradually, do so. Build small sessions here and there and gradually grow from there. That did, for me, make that transition a little bit easier. Some people are forced to jump either way. If you can find a good full-time job in a school, then that might be a good en route to find your feet and start getting used to forest school. But in general, your first year is going to be pretty difficult financially, particularly again with all the kit and the overheads that you have that have high upfront costs and then may well reduce or stay the same as your income grows. So the other thing you are thinking about, no doubt, when you are in your first year, is feeling slightly out of your depth with all the risk assessments and the session planning and everything else. This definitely gets easier with time, and it gets easier quite rapidly. Once you've got a good set of risk assessments, it basically becomes a slight modification here and there. Maybe rewrite a little bit of that forest school handbook. Oh, I've done this session before, let me incorporate this in. It gets easier over time. The third major area is going to be the sessions itself, like finding your feet as a forest school leader. Now, you've no doubt gone through your training and you've had some really good instruction, but it is completely normal to feel out of your depth in that first year. There's a lot to learn, and the forest school qualification is not designed to be the be-all and end-all, to give you all of the knowledge and experience you could possibly need to go out and run sessions for the next 20 years. The forest school qualification is just the starting point. It's just to get you safe enough that you can go out and you can run sessions and hopefully no one gets badly injured. It's how to risk assess, it's how to manage tools, how to manage fires, it's how to manage the forest school ethos. But really after this point, it is down to you to continue growing. And that might mean CPD days, watching videos. I know someone who makes some quite good ones. It's taking that time and opportunity to develop your skills and develop your own practice. Because chances are your forest school is going to look very different from mine. It's going to look very different from Laura, who I work with a lot. Different from her forest schools. We all bring unique variables and unique skills and talents and abilities to it. Your thing might be storytelling, like Danny English. Your thing might be natural dyes and pigments, like another local lady I know. You might have a real skill for putting up ropes courses. You might really enjoy shelter building, or be really good at working with tools and knives, or even just have the ability to make an entire session with nothing but a ball of string and some twigs. Finding the way you run your particular sessions outside of what so-and-so does, or that forest school leader says is the only way to do it. This is an opportunity to find who you are. And like I've said before, finding your local community will help you with this. You'll be able to see lots of different leaders working in different environments with different children, and you'll start to see the range of different activities and ways of running forest school. So don't worry about feeling out of your place. Just look to the communities that are out there and hook up with either a Facebook community, an in-person community. Find someone who's willing to mentor you. There are a lot of people out there who are more than ready and willing to share their knowledge. And it's not about creating another competitor. Often it's just about making the whole sector and industry better. So find someone who looks successful, who looks like they're doing well in the industry, and chances are they will be willing to help and at least guide you along the way. And of course, not affiliated, just really like what he's doing. If you're really feeling stuck, Asa, I've got a whole watch the episodes where I did consultancy with him, and he guided me through how to change my business. That's a great starting point. And if you want to work with him directly, I'm sure you can find his stuff easily. It's forestschoolsupport.com, I think. But yeah, look for Asa on the Forest School Assistance and Support Facebook group. Fantastic guy. As I said, don't get anything for recommending him. I've just found it really helpful. So if you're looking for a boost to get going in that first year, that would be a really good port of call as well. So find communities, find mentors, find outside ideas, get more skills, and if you need it, hire someone to guide you along the way. And as I say, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be tricky, you're going to have ups and downs, there are going to be easy bits and hard bits, but I think the journey is going to be worth it once you come out of the other side. It's like starting any new skill, any new job. Like I was talking with a relative of mine who just started a new job, and they were talking about how they had to keep on going to the supervisor all the time, and that they constantly were getting things wrong. Like, no, as a previous supervisor and manager, I firmly believe that people, when they first started, were going to be useless. I knew that was going to happen, and actually the more problems and troubles I see them having, the more likely I am to help them, because if I can see that they are making an effort and not just doing things exactly as I've told them to do, if they're trying to innovate, change things, if they're trying to learn on the job, trying to take responsibility for new things and take the initiative, then they're going to be making mistakes, and there's going to be problems, and there's going to be things that come up and things that go wrong. And when I see that, I go, fantastic, this person is learning. I say, when you're starting a new job, try and make as many mistakes as possible by learning as fast as possible in the first 2-3 months, because then after that, you'll be gone. You'll be up there, you'll know how to do everything, you'll know everything back to front, and you'll really start to be an asset, and then you'll start moving up in an organization, if they of course value you. That's the same thing with forest school. That first year, just fail forward, learn as you go, be that reflective practitioner, think about what you're doing, act with the best of intentions, and I'm sure everything's going to be fine. Now, this is just my experience, so I thought it might be nice that if I reached out to the Forest School Assistants Facebook group and asked them what their first year was like, just to get some other voices other than just mine, because you're probably sick of me after eight episodes. So we're going to go on to the Forest School Assistance support. So, had a few responses here. So we had Tori, as she said to herself, she would say, trust your instincts, stick to your principles, don't be afraid to take a chance. You won't please everyone, so don't worry about it. Growing organically with the right people is what you know to be right. Trust the children to show you what they need, relax and stay curious. I think this hits a core elements of that kind of organic growth. For me, that was the big thing I took out of here, and something that I took in my own practice, is that it's taken time to build up my sessions, but now I have the right people. So it was being unafraid to, in a British term, to be Marmite, to be liked by some and disliked by and hated by others. Now, obviously, no one goes out to try and be hated, but actually being somewhat polarizing can be good. You'll find the people that are truly interested and love what you do, and then you get to do fantastic things with them. If you try and please everyone, then you'll end up pleasing no one. Just trust that the right people will find you. As long as you build your business sustainably and try and stay in business for as long as possible, the right people will find you. So Angela says, take deep breaths. So many egomaniacs and instructors with such hubris. Hard to get a word in edgewise after 30 years in the field. Still today, even as a manager of a program that has grown 100 times in size. Trust yourself, follow the children's leads. Yeah, not everyone has got it worked out. Not everyone, I mean, I wouldn't consider that I've got it worked out. I've got a bit of experience, but you know what? I've barely worked in schools for any of that. So my ability to work with school children is somewhat limited. I've got a bit of a background in trained as a teacher, but really, honestly, my area of expertise is homemade families, it's tools and shelters and fire. I'm not that great at fairy doors. I don't know a lot about how to run a CIC. I'm learning on the job now, but there's always more to learn. So don't trust anyone who says they've worked it all out and refuses to listen to anyone else. There are more than one. There are many different ways to do this. Look to people's results and see whether that's something you'd like to emulate. So Emma says, remember, it will grow organically. Don't stress. Make sure you have a great accountant and just enjoy. Your clients will come. Adults and children, stick to your ethos and principles. Remember, it's not your fault if you're not in the customer's budget. Now, that last line really hit home with me. I mean, I've said it before, we feel like we want to change the world as forest school leaders. We just want everyone to benefit from our sessions. But I'll say it again, nobody benefits from the sessions if we go out of business. And that sometimes it's okay, going back to the last one, being that Marmite, you're not for everyone. And that's okay. At the moment, I've built a rather high-end forest school. Now, as part of that, I do support the odd family here and there with a discounted or free ticket. If I identify people with real need, if people come to me with real need, I'll try and help them out. But I can't run any forest school sessions if I'm not earning enough to keep a house, a family and food on the table. So letting go of that guilt up, and then just whenever you have an opportunity, when you are secure enough, when you've put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you can then give to others, then give freely and make other lives better. But you've got to get there first, and that means letting go of the guilt of being for everyone. And then we had an anonymous member saying that they were, after their 1 year, their first year was exhilarating and poverty stricken. After digging into it a little bit, said it's taken 5 years to get to the point where I'm almost free of the need of a second job. Also, I've expanded to offer bushcraft days for children and courses for adults. As what I said right at the start, it's going to be tough for quite some time. It's going to be tricky. It's not always going to be straightforward line from nothing to fully fledged forest school that's booked out every session. Expect it not to be that way, but set up your prices and your guidelines appropriately and build your value, and eventually, hopefully, you'll get there. But of course, if you want to give it a go, the best thing to do is just to get out there and start. That's the most important thing to take away, is that if you've gone through and decided that this is something you'd really like to try, and it's not going to put you and your family on the street, then I'd say, what's the harm? Give it a try for a year. Don't expect very much. Give it at least 2 years before you firmly decide that there's no way that you can make money from it. Be prepared for that on-ramp, and just take each day as it comes. Find the people who will support you, and I'm sure you'll make it through. And you know what? You'll be glad. You'll be glad even if it doesn't work out. You'll be glad of the skills and abilities you have learned during this year. Well, there you go. I think we can end there. I may, if there's enough need, if people find other things that they are struggling with on their first year journey, I may well record a sequel series. But I hope this has been helpful. Please do reach out to me. You can find my email address easily enough, info@brackenoutdoors.com. If you'd like a little bit of help on your journey, then do reach out. Do reach out on the forums. There's plenty of good people out there, and we'll try our best to help you. We're all about helping our past selves. I had a whole lot of help starting out, and I feel now I'm ready to pay it forward. So, okay, thank you so much for watching and listening, especially if you've made it through this entire series. I really do appreciate your support, and I hope it's been helpful. Thank you for that. I'll get going now. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and remember to make the most of each and every day.